Welcome, guys. Today we are going to be talking about something that every woman can relate to. Although it starts with the name men, but we all know that every woman at some point in our lives we're going to have to deal with
menopause.
Definitely.
Yes.
So ladies, have a seat, relax, because we're going to give you guys some tips on how to handle that big M whenever we are going through it.
Yes.
So we'll be right back after this commercial. Welcome back. Well, earlier we told you guys that we're going to have this conversation that often, women don't want to talk about this,
Yes.
But we don't have a choice, right?
We don't, because we're all aging. We're not getting any younger.
That's
and
right.
Unfortunately, this is a taboo topic, but today we're going to tackle menopause because we all go through it. I don't know any woman who hasn't gone through it. Some symptoms are different than others. Some have it a little bit easier than the rest of us. Nevertheless, we still have to go through it. So today we're going to talk about what ages go through it, what are the symptoms, what you can do to feel better, and how to just manage it. It doesn't last forever, thank God. But it is part of a woman's journey.
Definitely.
Menopause usually happens between the ages of 40 and 50.
I know. I mean, for some women, even earlier.
Yes.
Some women can go through it, depending on if they're healthy or not.
They had a hysterectomy.
Yeah, and
like
they
that.
Can start like in their early 30s.
Yes.
Well, let's say grandparents' age, it used to be a little bit later, but now things have changed.
Things have changed dramatically, and it has a lot to do with the food we eat too.
Definitely.
The hormones in our meat and things.
And this is a conversation that we all need to have in regards to health and the results of the food we put in our body, what that's going to do with us. So, we're definitely going to talk everything that brings into whether health or relationship or finances, career. We're gonna be talking about all these things, and we want everyone who's watching, for you guys to invite your friends and know that this is your space. Whenever you see Maggie and Shida show, you're gonna get something positive from it. You're definitely gonna learn something from us.
You're gonna learn and you're gonna thrive. Just stay tuned.
Definitely. All right. So, Shida, what do you think? You wanna give us some tips since you are actually going through?
I am actually going through menopause. So actually, menopause is characterized by not having your cycle for a year when you're over childbearing age. So usually between 40 and 50, if you haven't had your cycle for a year, they consider you menopausal, going through menopause. So menopause has a lot of symptoms. Mood swings are the main ones. Hot flashes, we talk about that all the time. Vaginal dryness, lack of sex drive, fatigue, just an overall change in your energy, not necessarily good or bad, but a change. You'll notice that your body is changing, your elasticity of your skin is changing.
Yeah, you just mentioned the sex drive.
Yes.
It's not funny though. When we go through menopause and not really now her spouse or boyfriend have to deal with the fact that we're not in the mood for this thing, right?
Well, it depends on the woman. Because me going through menopause, my sex drive actually got better. And I think it's mainly because I realized I can't have any more kids, so we could just do it as we want to. But a lot of women do, because of the vaginal dryness, they experience lack of sex drive, and sex becomes more painful. But we do have, they do have therapies that you can use. There's hormone replacement therapy, there's lubrication, there's different things that you can eat in order to increase vaginal wetness. And different things that you can do in order to even enjoy sex.
But you know what? We also should let everybody know, because if you are going through this and you don't know what to do, you need to go to your doctor.
You have to go to your doctor. Ask them to check your hormone levels. Ask them to you want to get a full workup, and ask them to directly check your hormone levels. Because your hormone levels, especially if your estrogen has dropped, that's a sign that you are going through menopause. And a lot of times women will even thin around our edges, will lose eyelashes, eyebrows, things like that. But you'll notice an overall change in who you are. We notice that we're aging, but it's not a bad thing.
No, definitely not.
Menopause has like this negative stigma. Oh, you're ending childbearing years, but you have a whole nother, life that you could go in. Because one, you can't have kids. You can travel. Your kids are usually out the house by the time menopause happens.
Definitely.
You got a couple more dollars in your pocket, you know. Yeah. So you can enjoy life a lot better. Yeah. And you're more mature. So with the mood swings and things like that, you usually know what's going on, so you can counteract them. Yeah. If you was younger and went through menopause or some kind of hormonal thing, it's more jarring. Yeah. As we get older, we kind of understand we're starting to cycle in different ways. Yeah. So when I started going through menopause, even though a lot of things caught me off guard, it was easy to adjust because you're more mature. You just realize you're going through things. You know?
Definitely. But guess what? Before we go any further, we're going to take a quick pause, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to share with you what my journey was when I went to menopause. All right. So we'll see you back in just a minute after this commercial. Yes. Right before the commercial break, we told you guys that I was going to share with you what my journey was like when I was going to menopause. It was like, I had no idea I was going to menopause. Yeah. I thought I was just,
What was your first sign?
Well, the first sign was, surprisingly, I think that's where I got the habit of drinking more water. I think the first sign for me was dry mouth. Okay. I started feeling like I was constantly thirsty. Okay. And I didn't understand what was going on with me. And I thought there was something wrong. So I went to the doctor, find out, well, why am I always thirsty? What's going on with me? The doctor said, well, we didn't see anything wrong. Right. So I went back home, and I'm still now, I got into the habit of everywhere I go, I would bring my bottle of water with me. And then I also noticed that I was getting... I didn't really start feeling hot right away, but I was like, I get upset a little bit faster.
A little more irritated,
Yeah, my patience, was very limited. It's like if I tell you something a couple times, and after a while I'm like ready to explode because I feel like I'm agitated and I didn't know what was going on with me. Yes. And then like over a few months later, I started actually having hot flashes. But the hot flashes started because I was having migraine. I suffered migraine for years, and for some of you who know my story, when I was with the husband, it's something else, ladies, that we'll be talking about some other time, when we talk about relationships. Right. But today we're going to stay focused, exactly on the topic, menopause. Yeah. So with the migraine that I was going through, some of my colleagues also were going through the same thing. And so they suggested, well, why don't you go and start getting acupuncture? Right. I said, sure, just refer me to someone. They did. So I started going, and the hot flashes got worse. Oh. And I was going every week. And I was like, wow, what am I doing wrong? Why is it I'm having, not just the fact that now I was getting sweat, during the day.
Did you ask the practitioner, the acupuncture practitioner?
No, I didn't think it was related to it. Okay. I just thought, I was going for migraine. So the whole idea of menopause was something for me totally, separate from that. So I'm going through this, and I noticed that I get upset easily. And I'm also, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's because I'm getting so hot. Right. So I started carrying my little fan with me. That was so crazy. I started everywhere I go, I had my little fan with me. That was like really crazy. And then eventually, during the summertime, like months later, I went on a trip, and I was gone for 2 months basically. So I didn't have any acupuncture for 2 months. Okay. And I remember coming back from work, from my vacation, and then I picked up the phone one day to call to make my appointment. And then I realized that I haven't had any hot flashes.
Wow. Did you hang up the phone, or did you go to the appointment?
I hung up the phone, and I told myself, acupuncture is not good for me. And that's when I realized, just because something works for someone else, that doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. That's right. We need to know our body. We need to know who we are. Yes. Because someone can tell you, well, this is what I did that worked for me. Right. You can try it, but make sure you follow your body.
Pay attention.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Make sure that, what are the results that I'm getting because of this change that I made in my body. For me, because of that experience, even the food that I eat right now, I will test things one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to make sure that, okay, what is the result? Am I having cramp? Am I having gas? Am I having this? Am I having that? Just because I want to know, okay, what am I putting in my body that my body doesn't like?
Right. And that's very smart. A lot of times, not getting off the subject of menopause, but a lot of times we do not pay attention to what we're eating. And especially when you're going through the change, it can aggravate your symptoms. Dairy can aggravate your alcohol. Any kind of smoking, different scents. Like my mom in particular, she cannot smell cinnamon. When she smells cinnamon, she gets hot and she has a hot flash. It's very weird, but it's the truth. So it is true. There are different things that you can eat or not eat that can help with your menopause. But definitely you want to stay away from things that are fat or loaded with fat, sugar, and artificial flavors. And pay attention to what you're eating. As you age also and going through menopause, unfortunately you have less stomach acid. So a lot of times you'll notice that you'll start having more stomach aches and digestion issues. Menopause, unfortunately, it just shows us that our body is changing. Our body is slowing down a little bit. It's kind of like, I'm done doing the work. I just want to go on vacation from this point on. And when you first packing for vacation, you're anxious and you're ready to go. That's how menopause is. It's like those hormones are anxious and they're ready to go, and it just vibrates through your body. But definitely, we want to think about our diet. One thing that helps me. Why am I talking so loud? One thing that's helped me is exercise.
Yes.
Exercise has helped me so much with menopause. With the days that I exercise, I usually don't have hot flashes. The days that I don't exercise, I have hot flashes, and that's the truth. My appetite is better when I exercise. When I don't exercise, my appetite seems to be up and down. When I do exercise, I have a regular appetite, and I feel better. So one thing I would recommend for menopause is to find an exercise that you like. Because as you're aging, our recovery time is slower. So we're not going out lifting weights for an hour. We're not going out trying to do calisthenics and Pilates and P90X and all that stuff. And insanity, we're not doing that. We're doing things like going for walks. We're doing things like going dancing with our husbands.
And you know what else that I think works for me is meditation. I would wake up in the morning and just try to relax and do my breathing exercises and just be present. And also, I'm sure we're gonna be talking a lot about gratitude in this show, because both of us, this is something that we relate to. But even going to menopause, if you can wake up in the morning and just sit down and relax, or even if you do while you're still laying down on the bed, start breathing. Breath is very important. Definitely. And then go to your gratitude state. And just be thankful that you're awake.
That's right. And that you made it through the night.
And be thankful that your body is functioning. Right? Because sometimes we forget that so many people need a cane to walk. So many people need someone to hold them, to walk them to the bathroom. And we're complaining about, well, we're going to hot flashes. We're complaining, well, that I cannot digest my food. Yes, it's part of menopause, but there are things that we have that somebody else does not have.
That's right. And we have to be mindful and we have to be grateful for the fact that we are going through this, because there's some people who didn't make it to menopause.
Definitely. Definitely.
So the fact that we're here, we have had our children are healthy, our families are healthy, and this change of life is just, it can be a celebration.
That's true.
Graduating into the next turn of your life.
Definitely.
So we need not to take that for granted. But we also need to be mindful that our attitude affects our families. And I think when I first started going through menopause and I didn't understand what was going on, I got depressed. Not depression like sitting in a room in a corner, but just like really melancholy, really sad. And I would go through moments like that. And so with that, my family noticed. It did affect my family and my kids and so forth and so on. So I have to learn how to regulate my emotions and realize when I'm sinking into sadness or melancholy or whatever, and just pull myself out of it, or do techniques to pull myself out of it. Have a therapist. It's always great to have a therapist. Yes. Get you a good therapist, someone to talk to about everything that you're going on. One thing, the best advice my mother gave me is that your friends, family, and husbands are not your therapists. They will get tired of your problems.
Yes.
So find you a good therapist and talk her ear off. Because unfortunately, a lot of the things that we're going through, nobody can relate to but us.
That's true.
And you don't want to feel like you're being a burden. And sometimes when you're going through these phases, you do feel like you're being a burden, or you feel like you're being a pain in the butt.
Yes.
And so you have to talk these things out, just rationalize your thoughts, get things together, and also see where you're normal. I know with me, with therapy, not just through menopause, but through therapy, I saw that, okay, I'm not crazy.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Definitely. In the menopause, you definitely think you're crazy.
Well, we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to come back to give you guys some of the symptoms and what to do once you start having them. So we'll come back after this quick commercial break.
All right.
And I'm the co-owner of this place.
Okay.
And we provide natural and organic skincare as well as mani-pedi that are more on the natural side. And we also do acrylic nails for you.
That's beautiful nails, beautiful nails.
Thank you. So over here we have the face care. So we have two separate systems, one for normal skin, one for oily skin. We have scrubs, under eye care, face masks. We have lotions, body sprays, body souffle, which is more a thick lotion for eczema, natural deodorants. We have both liquid and solid. We have beard oil. We have lotion for the men. We have some
some for the men as well. So let's show us what the men can use.
Yeah, so we didn't leave them out. So it's shiny normal.
All right, guys, so for you guys who may need to use something, please come and visit us. And please share the address with us.
It's 2695 Highway 42 in McDonough.
Welcome back, everyone. In this part of this conversation in regard to menopause, we said we're going to share some things, and not just that, but also to recognize the signs. So we should talk about, what are the signs so people can actually say, okay, well, this is what I'm going through.
Okay.
Because sometimes we have all these symptoms, because I know for me, I didn't recognize them right away. So it's important that every woman knows, what are the signs, right?
Right.
Since you're going through it right now, go ahead and tell us.
One of the main signs are irritability.
Yes.
That's one of the things. Mood swings, irritability, hot flashes, or notice the temperature change.
Yes.
You'll notice that maybe you don't want to wear closed-toe shoes all the time. You might want to wear flip-flops in the winter.
Yes.
That's normal, and it feels good. Talking
about flip-flop in the winter, let me share this quick story. My mother, when she was going to menopause, I remember we were in New York. It gets really cold during the winter time. My mother would come home below zero. She walks in the kitchen and open all the windows. She goes in the living room, and I'm following her as she opens them. I close them. I mean, I thought there was something wrong with my mom. I did not understand at that time. There was something called menopause. And that's why we need to have this conversation.
We have to, because
our kids, when we're going through it, they don't know what we're going through. So when we sit down and we have these conversations, and our kids are watching, our kids' friends are listening, and it's not just for adults. We bring our kids into the living room and say, this show is talking about menopause.
Right.
Now, let me tell you what to expect when you get to be that age.
Right.
And so we do not have to criticize each other. Right. And we can be more understanding.
Right. And we can also educate our husbands and the men in our lives, because, it is a fact. When you go through menopause, it's going to affect your family, definitely. And you need understanding. You don't need judgment. You don't need somebody to make fun of you, because it's really not funny when you're going through it. And you just want understanding, and sometimes you need space. It's not personal. And a lot of times when you're having a mood swing, it can seem very personal to the people that you're around.
That's true.
So it's very important to talk to your family, talk to your kids, talk to your husband, talk to your doctor first, get all the information you can and convey it to people that you love, so they don't feel like you're mad at them, angry with them, or they're the issue. That's one. So irritability, mood swings, vaginal dryness, dry mouth. Notice that your skin texture is different, thinning of the hair. And
isolation.
Isolation.
Wanting to be away from everyone.
Want to be
feeling like, I don't want to be bothered. Don't talk to me. I want my own space. There's nothing wrong with you mentally. It's just that you're going to menopause. Check with your doctor. Make sure you are in that state.
Right.
So, if it's something more than that you can take medication for it.
Right.
But if it's, through menopause, it's a phase.
It is.
It's a phase because it does go away. Because for me, after a while, it was like, I didn't even realize when that thing stopped.
I'll be glad when that day comes to me.
I did not even realize when that thing stopped. It was like, first of all, I stopped having flashes.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't completely stop, but it gradually stopped. Right. And then I realized that one habit that I maintain is constantly drinking water, which is good for me. But also, I was not rude to people, like I used to be when I was going through it. I realized that I was short-tempered a lot. And so when it stopped, when it slowed down, I realized I was more friendly. Because I mean, by nature, I'm constantly laughing. And that was this part of me that I missed. And I'm like, why am I so upset?
Right.
I didn't understand why I was always angry. And then
you feel pensive. Oh, yeah. Very pensive. Yeah.
You can feel the tension in your body. And it felt so relieved, when it was gone. And I was like, wow, I'm back to myself again. And I'm glad this thing didn't last too long.
But see, I think also that's good why exercise is so important, because you're able to work out that tension.
Yes.
And sex is important during menopause. Even though you have vaginal dryness and it might be painful, that's when you're going to go to your doctor and get what you need to get in order to remedy that. But sex is important during menopause because it actually helps heal the vagina, because your body is building up lubrication.
And it makes you happy too.
It releases
because a good orgasm makes you
dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and all them good natural drugs that you get when you have sex.
And you fall asleep easier.
You fall asleep easier, and your husband will forgive you for being mean to him all day. Okay? All of a sudden, he will not be upset anymore. He will be his baby again. So, sex is very important just to keep him in the house.
Definitely. To keep him happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, with me personally, I enjoy sex more during menopause. I had an increased sex drive. I'm way more sexual than I was before. My sexual appetite increased. I do understand that for some women it does decrease. I think that has a lot to do with diet and exercise. When I since I've been going through menopause, I have increased my my exercise, but I haven't increased the intensity. Whereas before I used to run miles and miles and miles, I can't do that anymore after I turn 40. Like my joints hurt. So now I changed the types of exercise that I do. I do more yoga. I do more body weight exercises. I walk instead of run. And I find out I'm having better results. I'm not in pain. I'm not sore. And I'm getting the same physical results. So
wonderful. Right. Wonderful.
So exercise is very important. There's also hormone replacement therapy.
Yes.
You go to your doctor, you talk to your doctor. If your hormones are low enough, they will offer hormone replacement therapy. Also, if you've had a hysterectomy, endometriosis, if you're getting off birth control and you're starting to go into menopause, because a lot of times women are on birth control because of heavy periods, but they still got to go through menopause. So when you transition, they usually give you some kind of hormone replacement in order for you not to have such an abrupt change in your system. So there's definitely things you could do. Definitely talk to your doctor, talk to your naturopath or your holistic professional. There's acupuncture, meditation, yoga, exercise, diet. There's so many supplements you could take, ashwagandha, St. John's wort, kava. There's different things that you can do and ingest in order for you to feel better. And also just talk.
Talk to a friend. Find someone that does not mind you sharing with them, because not everybody want to know about your menopause. Not everybody
nor do they care.
So it's really important that you have a friend who understands, someone who's probably been there and doesn't mind listening to you, and also can give you some, tips on what is it you need to do to deal with, with the whole system of menopause itself. So it's really important that, you find out your circle. You find out your little group, that you can reach out to. And say, well, you know what, this is what I'm going through today, and I'm not in the mood to talk, and somebody can say, it's okay. It's okay if you don't feel like talking.
Right. And self-care is very important. I always feel like every time I go through something, whether it's illness, a life change, or anything, God is trying to tell me to take care of myself.
Definitely.
And so through menopause, I feel like God is saying, okay, you're getting older, you need to pay attention to some things. And with self-care, it's not just massage therapy, getting facials and getting your hair done and going having drinks with your girls. It's I'm about to talk about researching what's going on with you. Meditating is very good in self-care. Understanding and giving yourself grace. We beat each other, we beat each other up, and we beat ourselves up.
Definitely.
Time to yourself, doing things that you like to do, even if it's just sitting in the middle of the yard looking at the sun. Do what you like to do. A lot of times, especially in our younger years, it was all about family, husband, kids. This is the time where you need to do some self-identity and find out who you are and how to heal yourself. Because with menopause comes, a lot of trauma, things come up that you have to deal with, and that's a good time to deal with it.
And also, I would add to it that it's also a good time to journal. It's a good time for you to sit with you.
And why do we journal, Maggie?
Well, it's a whole conversation that we're going to have some other time. Because, and I know where you're going with it. It's important that we do get help. We do get therapy. We do, talk to a coach. But the journal itself, it really takes you to a place where you remember things that you thought you forgot, and it helps you to have some clear perspective on where you are, and sometimes you just you don't have to keep reading it. Some people say, well, I mean, if I have to go back and read it, then I want to change things. No, just write. Just write until you're tired of writing and put it away. You don't have to go back and read it. You don't have to correct it. You don't have your grammar doesn't have to be right. You don't need to have a proper punctuation where it needs to be.
You just got to get it out your body.
Because that is a form of therapy.
It is.
It really helps. I mean, for me, that it changed my whole life. And when I started journaling and following up, it's because I also journaled for so many years that I was able to get my book. I wrote my book within 3 months. Because I had so many materials,
you had all the information already. You just had to compile it.
It was very easy for me to do that. So there's so many things that we women, we go through. And I feel so happy to have this space, the Maggie and Shida show. Today is our first show. And we wanted to start with something that make all women connect to each other. Although this is not just a woman's show, it's a family show where we talk about everything family, And as a relationship coach, you guys know that I'm definitely going to be talking about lots of relationships. Yes. But I wanted, when we talked about what is the first show going to be, I'm glad that we decided that it's going to be about us. Totally us women. How we, things that we have to deal with and how we can connect with each other. Right. So I'm loving this.
I love this too. I think that there is room and space for this type of program. I feel like a lot of shows don't get down to the nitty gritty, and I'm really ready to do that. And I think this show will allow us to do that. And this particular subject of menopause, I think, is warranted because we don't talk about it at all. We don't talk about self-care. We don't talk about things that really matter. And feelings and life change really matters. You can't put a blinder on to what your body is going through. And a lot of times as women, unfortunately, we do.
Yes.
You know, we push through pain. We push through discomfort, and we just keep, and then one day you wake up and you have to deal with it.
Yes.
But I feel like if we deal with it along the journey, it won't just, tackle us all at one time.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about our new show.
Yeah, me too. Yes. And I'm going to ask each and every one of you to give us some feedback. You can go on the website, www.owningmydestiny.com, to give us your feedback. What did you think about the show? What do you guys like about the show? And what would you guys want to talk about, that in the future we can address?
Yes.
Because remember, this show, yes, it's mostly about women, but we want it to be more family oriented, because you all know when it comes to relationships, it's not about just women, it's about family.
That's right.
Yes. And as we're getting ready to say goodbye, we want to thank you guys for joining us today, right?
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for joining us. Please come and continue to watch. If you have any suggestions, if you have any questions, please reach out to us.
Yes, definitely. And you can also follow up on Facebook, Instagram, and all the social media, on Clubhouse. And, just you can find out exactly what we're doing. Yes. We're very active on social media. And we're going to give you guys updates on things that we're doing outside of the show that we have right now. Yes. So we want to say thank you for watching, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Same time, same place. Remember, this show is on Exposure Network TV.
Yes.
And you can watch it anytime. So, but every Monday, a new show will be dropped off for you guys.
Yes.
So looking forward to seeing you every Monday. Until then, goodbye.
Bye.